What's up, y'all? My name is Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. We've got 4 sides to us as a whole. I'll talk about the other 3, but this is In the Image Clothing Company Dogs. Our whole slogan for this 4th of our company is letting dogs stay natural. There's a lot of things nowadays. Today's the 30th of April 2025, and going forth it's only going to get more unnatural, more worldly. But there's materials that our dog toys are made out of, our dog accessories are made out of, collars, leashes, and harnesses, and there's imbalances in weights and sizes, fit of dog things we place onto them. Kibble for dogs is dehydrated, and that's unnatural to just extract the water from their food that we give them. So we just show how to keep dogs natural. We also will have a breeding program. Purebred standard poodles, AKC registered, proper registered dogs. And yeah, that's this side of our company, this 4th. Another 4th is our main side of In the Image Clothing Company, where it all started and still our main side. Addressing the human body's natural function. I talk about the human being as being just a mechanical machine placed onto a rock in space. That's really what we are, right? Physically, the way that we function. There's a center line to the human being, the sternum, the trachea, the spine, the nose, and our jaw naturally stabilizing the entire body. If clothing's imbalanced, the body will be. So, In the Image Clothing Company clothing will be made out of 100% natural materials because the human body is, stay centered and fit correct, and that's how we, keyword, allow the human body to work. That's our slogan for that 4th of the company. We have another 4th of us, In the Image Clothing Company podcast, where I get into deep, bold, blunt, raw, and real discussions on the gospel of Jesus Christ, aka the truth of all things. We're all human beings, we're all placed onto the same earth. What is it? Why is it? How is it? We discuss it and I get into it, okay? There's a soccer game going on over here. That's what that noise is if you can hear. So, one other 4th is In the Image Clothing Company music. I address the sizing and setup of guitars because we use our hands to play them, and the hands are essentially the shoulders, as the feet are essentially the hips. The body can only work as a whole, activated in its entirety. So there we go. Music that I've made is also placed on In the Image Clothing Company music. You can check out. So this video for In the Image Clothing Company dogs is titled The Benefit of Microchipping Dogs. Now, I've talked about this a little bit in a couple videos on In the Image Clothing Company dogs when I talked about our breeding program where we will microchip every puppy that comes. Every In the Image Clothing Company dog, right, standard poodle puppy, every one of them will be microchipped. And I want to talk about the benefits of it because as I was saying where I was, right, about, yes, our whole goal under all 4 sides of In the Image Clothing Company is natural. That's the goal, and a microchip is not natural. It's a man-made electronic thing, just very slightly bigger than the grain of rice that you could see, right? It's very small, and they normally place it right between the shoulder blades of the dog, just under the skin, and what it is something that has just a number. So you can take a little scanner and scan over that microchip, and it brings up the information of the owner. Phone number, address, name, how to contact you if your dog ever gets out, if your dog gets lost, if your dog gets taken, whatever happens. That's actually the thing that's the benefit. One of them, there's actually many that I would say are universal benefits to a microchip for a dog is there's no way that microchip can be accidentally removed or intentionally taken off. It can't be lost. It's inside the dog's skin. And it's so small and it's so commonly done. I understand it is an unnatural thing. It really is. But the benefits so much outweigh the unnaturalness of it. You like the grammar on that? Because I just want to make it as real as it is. Every single one of our puppies, I said it, I'm going to reiterate, under In the Image Clothing Company dogs, our purebred standard poodles, Every one of them will be microchipped before they go to their new owners. The benefits just are huge. You can never lose the information. We're going to give our dogs to an owner that is very particular and intentional. There's a video under In the Image Clothing Company Dogs titled When the Standard Poodle Puppies Come. And I talked about, I'm gonna get a little closer because it's kind of loud because of the game. I talked about how our dogs are going to specific owners. We're going to be very, very filtery, if you will, on who the dogs go to. It's like adopting a child, a 15-year give or take commitment when you purchase one of our standard poodle puppies from In the Image Clothing Company Dogs. So ours personally will be microchipped. Every dog that we have coming from our litters. And we want those dogs to be able to stay at their homes. We're very, 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 very specific about who they go to. And once they get there, we don't want the dog to potentially get lost, end up at a shelter, and have no collar for whatever reason. The collar came off, the dog came out of the house without a collar, anything that could happen. We want to do all that we can to have that dog be able to be found by its owner, or have the shelter be able to contact the owner, have somebody who finds the dog be able to scan it and get it to the owner. Whatever it is, there's no way of impermanence with a microchip. It's a permanent thing, okay? Our dogs will be proper, okay? Our breeding program In the Image Clothing Company Dogs, we're doing it very, 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 very well. I made a video titled How In the Image Clothing Company Dogs Will Look under In the Image Clothing Company Dogs, okay? And I discussed a lot of what our breeding program will look like, and it's just going to be so proper. So with that, we want to keep our dogs at their homes when they go home, okay? 8 weeks, just about, give or take, is how long they will be with us as the breeders and with the mother. And after that, we are not in charge of the dog. But what we want is to set the dog up for success, for a successful, full life with its permanent family. And the way that we can do that the best as of now, as of this time period, is microchipping our dogs, okay? Now, it's just a benefit, okay? It's so beneficial. There are a lot of times when it's great to have collars on dogs, and we will have collars available in the Image Clothing Company dog products, collars and leashes and whatever else we get into as well. Similar intent to human being clothing in the Image Clothing Company clothing, right? Minimal, 100% natural materials, ideally just not restricting the dog, balanced weight-wise, and fitting correct, you know. There's times when it's great to not have a collar on your dog. If you're camping, like here in the state of Utah, the United States of America, if you're up there and there's nobody around, you're probably not going to want to have a collar on your dog. If you're trying to do In the Image Clothing Company Dogs slogan and let your dog stay natural, letting dogs stay natural is what we do here. Having no collar on the dog is so much more natural than having a collar on it, okay? There's a lot of benefits to collars in times. I say the phrase very often, and I have times and places for everything. But if we can have moments like that, up in the mountains, for example, or off wherever, where we don't need to be able to actually restrain our dogs with a collar or a harness, right, so that a leash can attach to it. Slip leads are great in the ways that we are, and we'll talk about slip leads a lot here under In the Image Clothing Company Dogs. But that's where your dog's the most natural, as far as nothing physically on it, like a collar. Now, if you're up there in the mountains and your dog just somehow gets away from you, even if your dog's very well behaved, if your dog just runs off, it chases an animal and you don't know what happened, a couple days go by, your camping trip's over and you're going home, and you just have to go home without your dog, you've looked and looked for a couple days. If somebody finds your dog, no leash, no external documentation on the dog, if there's a microchip in that dog, they can get that dog back to you. At least they have every ability to scan that microchip and get your information that you've placed in there in the registry of the microchip. Phone number, address, name, whatever it is, anything, everything that you can place there or that you do place there to get your dog back to you, because there's information placed permanently, as weird as it sounds, and I get that, but in the dog, right? Seriously. At that point, that is just such a benefit to anything you could possibly ever say about what could be coming negative impact wise from a microchip in a dog. It's so much more beneficial than anything else, as far as than on the other end of anything that could be harmful or damaging. So undisputed universal benefits to microchips. And as I said, every single one of the puppies from In the Image Clothing Company dogs litters, standard poodle puppies, purebred, registered, proper dogs, okay? Every one of them will come microchipped before they go to their new owner. So there you go. Benefits, okay? Because I personally, with my own dogs, I want them to be off collar, off leash as much as I can. Now, obviously respecting the law, respecting places where people say either no dogs allowed or dogs allowed only on leash, right? Times and places. But in moments where a collar doesn't have to be on there for legal reasons and things like that, it's the most ideal to just have no collar, no harness, nothing around or on the dog. And that little microchip that's only very slightly larger than a grain of rice isn't going to be affecting the dog physically, motion and motor skills and operation wise, okay? Collars and leashes, harnesses, apparel for dogs very much can. And so there you go, okay? So many benefits to microchipping dogs. I know a lot of people have opinions on it, and I have my strong points on the things that I do, right? I try not to be opinionated about anything, but there's certain things that I just say just about absolutely not, or just about absolutely always, or whatever end it's on. But I really, the point is, I am who I am, as far as I'm the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. I know how the human body works and how to let it be. I know what's needed for dogs in all the ways that I do, okay? And I'm saying, personally, you don't have to take my word for it, but I'm just giving context of where this is coming from. I'm saying yes to microchipping dogs, okay? And like always, unless there's any reason you couldn't do it, do it. Yeah, okay? So there we go. That's the benefit of microchipping dogs, and some context, which I've given in other places, but I said it within here as well, on our puppies. They will be microchipped. So thank you. Okay, 30th of April 2025 is today's date. My name is Evan Strong. Check out the other 3 sides of the company if you'd like to. Stick around, stop back in InTheImageClothingCompany.com when it's up and running. Our products will be there, okay? And just ways to get to everything that we are also, right? That's our central hub, because that's our name. Everything that we do here is under the one word company name as a whole, In the Image Clothing Company. So just easy, streamline. That's how you will get to everything that we do and that we are, In the Image Clothing Company, okay? So thank you.